What's up, everyone? What's happening? What's going on? Boom! Let's go. Let's go. Glad you be here. This is what's funny to me, right? I, I tweet something out because I mean it's gaming news, and then right off the bat, it's got to be slated into it's Xbox propaganda, it's hate journalists, you hate this, you hate this. It's got nothing to do with hating anybody or I'm upset about anybody's going to an event or not. But I find it to be it's important to me because when you have people that's in the gaming media and they stress about celebrating gaming, then it's one of those things to me is where if you're celebrating gaming, then you would be at every event possible in order to celebrate that. And especially at one of the biggest events in the world. Not by the number of people, but because of the venue itself. It is the biggest, best event of giving out all the information. All of the biggest reveals are revealed at E3. So for Geoff Keighley not to come, there's only one or two, maybe a third reason for him not to do it. And that's the question that I want to try to break down in this video. I just want to talk about it. So, you know what I'm saying? What's going on with you? What's happening, guys? What's going on? Let's see. I see my man Tashawn's in here. Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. What's going on with you, other Zinc? Glad to be here. Vodka, what's going on? Uh, so check it out, right? So let's break it down for a second and just read a couple of things that's going on. So I'm going to go straight to Sony's Sony PlayStation's Lifestyle.net. This is where I was reading this part here, and so people could get a kind of understanding of maybe where Geoff Keighley is coming from. And it says while his own Twitter update didn't have many specifics, Geoff Keighley told the Hollywood Reporter, given what has been communicated about E3 so far, I just don't feel comfortable participating this year. Reports said last year that Geoff Keighley was helping with the ESA find ways to improve the event, but he has also quoted that saying that the ESA needed to find a way to bring everyone back to the table. With Sony skipping the show altogether for the second year running and numerous high-profile exhibitors opting to reducing their time or eliminating their presence at the show, Keely clearly felt the event is no longer imposes the themes of gaming togetherness he wished it could. He's been answering questions about the announcements on Twitter, but hasn't said much more beyond simply saying not feeling comfortable giving what he currently knows about the event. So going from that right there, the first thing that is brought up is Sony. And I understand this is a Sony website. But he was there last year. He had the event. He has a lot of people drawn to his event. But it also comes to this point of where he's saying togetherness. So if you're not feeling the togetherness, then you would think that you being there, you talking about celebrating gaming as a whole when you have your VGA shows and celebrating it all, and especially it's the biggest event, it's got the most reveals than any other game show that comes out, any other venue in the world. Bigger than Gamescom, bigger than Tokyo, the Paris, you know what I'm saying? If it's then whatever that the EXO, PlayStation's event when they have theirs, it's bigger. It gives more reveals than any other show that's out there. And if that's not about togetherness, I don't know what is. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things to me where, and also in that article, he states that he will be doing other things in the future to help represent gaming. So that only leads me to, that's what I'm saying, when I stated right at the beginning of this video, was saying he's only going to do 1 to 3 things. One, he's going to go to the PlayStation event, whenever that's going to be, probably late February, March, somewhere, whatever. I don't know. Who cares, right? Whenever it comes, it comes. It's going to be an event, some kind of event. I think he's going to be there. If that's not it, then he'll have his own show talking about things. And I don't know where he actually lives. He might live in California. I have no idea where the man lives or anything like that. So if he has his own show away from the E3 venue, then that's not showing togetherness. And then the third thing is that, no, fuck it. It's just those two things. I don't see the third thing out of that. That's the only two things that I can see, because you are a journalist. You are a game journalist. A game journalist. You have to be there. And for all these people, these number hounds that always want to talk about, well, Gamescom have more people out there. Absolutely, they have more people out there. Every other show has more people than E3. But this is the reason why E3 is so important. Because of this right here. You want to know about numbers? Here's the numbers right here. The United States has the largest video game presence in the world. It's, and you know what I'm saying, it's generated 18.4 billion in the U.S. alone, and it's going to it's forecast to reach 230 billion by 2022. It is by far the largest market in the world. Not Gamescom in Europe, not Tokyo Game Show in Japan, nowhere else but the United States. And so if you think that the United States is not going to have some sort of venue because there are journalists that wants to kill off E3, or there's other people out here that's trying to believe into this ridiculous thought process that E3 is irrelevant, you're wrong. What I think the ESA is trying to do is trying to go ahead. They see that these journalists are trying to play hardball, and I'm not trying to stand up for ESA, because I don't think that anybody's personal information should be brought out. That's wrong. That was a horrible breach of people's private information. So that definitely needs to be fixed. And I think that happened in 2018, or if not, it might have happened in 2019. I have no idea. But regardless, I know that the rumblings that was going on was that from some of the people, even when you was reading when the guy from Kotaku, Shire, I forget his first name. He was bringing up that whole point, like we talked about. I think it was late December, early January, where he was first saying this whole stuff about E3 was being dead. There were people in there that was talking about the money that they had to pay. And that was the same thing that we were hearing from people that was talking. When you walk around E3, there's people that like to talk about a whole bunch of things, and you get to talk to people that are journalists that you might not even know that were journalists until they say they were, or that they were part of that staff. And there was people that was complaining that they had to pay extra money this particular time because there were people that was not freeloading, but getting that hookup. You know what I mean? Like they would get a pass, then they would they would do some other stuff, and then they would get another person a pass, then they could get in, and I guess somebody was underhanding and doing all types of other stuff, right? So ESA cut that shit out. Like, no, you ain't doing that. You're not doing that. And so they're like, we want recoup all this money. If the people have to pay, then you guys have to pay as well, which I agree with that is to a certain degree. But there were people that they were adding more people to the staff. They have bigger staffs than others, and so those people thought that they could get in because they usually could in the past, and then the ESA changed up on them. And if they didn't tell them beforehand or whatever, then I think that's wrong. But like I said, I'm not here to defend the ESA, and I'm damn sure not here to defend the journalist, because I look at it as one of those things where they're trying to save money and cut costs, and then also try to have their cake and eat it too with, well, we want the venues to be just for us like it used to be. That's not right. That's not fair to the gamers. And listen, there's some journalists out there that are really great. You could talk to them. They like to be around the people. They'll talk to you. Of course, they got a job to do, so you shouldn't be just disturbing when they're doing their work. But when they're walking around and stuff, you can approach some of these guys. And then there's some that are absolutely just asses. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be acknowledged. I remember when we first was getting our passes that Monday last year, and Colt from RDX, he seen the chick that used to work, I forget her name. She used to work at IGN, and then she went solo, and she got the hair all blue, and she all different colors and stuff. She's a cute chick, whatever. A lot of fanboys love with her because they think she's hot or whatever, right? But Colt wanted to go holler at her and say what's going on, but then like these dudes were standing next to her like, no, you can't approach her. Like she's standing right there. She's like 10 feet away. You know what I'm saying? Hey, say what's going on. Hey, I'm Colt, blah, 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 blah. And, you know what I'm saying? It kind of just seemed weird. Like, you know, he wanted to approach her, but then those dudes were standing around looking like, oh, who is this weirdo coming up to her? And you know, Colt ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was weird to me how some people try to approach other people. I've already made my points about how I felt about Kojima, how he's walking around everybody. And then people, you know, like he's just the biggest thing ever. And how he did my boy Super G. I couldn't stand that. That pissed me off to no end. But you know what I'm saying? But there's some media out there that really actually act like they don't want to talk or deal with people. And like I said, there's other media people that's out there that does. And it's you know, it is what it is. But I think it really for the media some of the media to come after E3 the way that they are, they just want to cut back because they see, and a big shout out to my boy the Don, right? He said this. He said that look, the content creators are pulling in all the weight right now. If you look at it, there's podcasts, there's content creators out there that's pulling in way more listeners and viewers than some of the big like IGN podcasts and other podcasts out there. And there's content creators out there that's just killing it. That's way bigger than some of these media journalist sites. And then you got tons of smaller channels like me, for instance, and others that go out there and, you know, try to get as much information as we can. We got people that'll tell us some things. You know, you get out there, you interact, you network, and then it turns into this huge thing where content creators is filling in so much of the space of these journalists, which they worked hard to get to the point that they want to where they need to be and went to school and all that stuff. And I could look at it from the standpoint of being a journalist. Well, I'm not a journalist, but if I was a journalist, I went to school, I've did this, I've earned my way to get to this position, and then I got somebody that's just sitting at the house, you know, or that, you know, that can make videos, and then they could draw a lot more attention. So I can see how they could get pissed off about that too. Yeah, Other Zinc, I can't think of her name. She used to be at IGN, and she got her hair is usually a blue. She was a blonde, and then she was I can't think of her name. I have no idea what her name is, but she used to be at IGN, and she left, I believe, last year, and she started doing her own thing. She does like blogs and stuff like that, and I think she got another show. I've seen people watch her show or whatever, but regardless of that, I'm just saying, like, there's some people that just they don't want to be a part of the public. And it's wrong. I think it's absolutely foul, man. I think it's gross, but I think it's what's the worst thing about this is that these journalists are putting a line in the sand by saying, look, man, this venue is not important enough for gamers, and it's not important because of maybe our pocketbooks or for whatever the case may be. And I hope that they all can get it together, because I mean, it is the biggest venue by far. The United States is the biggest gaming market. So there's going to be a venue there. And there is no doubt that there's people that's bouncing out because Sony bounced out. There's no question about it. There's some people that's trying to say, oh, no, man, it's not that serious. I mean, obviously, E3 is not what it used to be. E3, and I posted that, let's see, and I'll post it again. Let me go find this again. That's because I still have it here. Right here. E3 2019 only had 3,000 people less, and then 2018 was the biggest venue, was the second biggest venue, or I should say the second biggest attendance in E3 history. The first one was way back in, I think, in 2005. 3,000 less, and E3 is failing when the average about 5 years ago was what, 10, 12,000 less? So, you know what I'm saying? Even further less than that because the public wasn't able to come. And see, that's another thing I say E3 is really important for the main fact of just just getting to see people from all around the world get to enjoy gaming in its purest form. Like, you don't have to worry about crazy people making tweets talking about that they gonna see you or some crazy junk like that. or people just saying crazy, nasty things, because everybody's there for one thing, to look at games, to see what's coming out, excited about gaming, and it's adult oriented. There's no kids around because there's clubs and everything around all over the place out there. And it's just a good venue just for people who really appreciate gaming. And for me, I find it to be tasteless that any journalist, especially with Geoff Keighley being as big and as well known as he is, to just want to back out of it. Now, he has every right to do that. You know, people think that I might be upset with this man. I don't even know this gentleman. I mean, I you know what I'm saying, I still watches his shows and everything else that he does. You know what I'm saying? So I have no hate. Will, I just feel that it's almost hypocritical in the sense of if you kind of talk about everybody should be bringing gaming together and celebrating it, then it should be, you should be there. I mean, all those journalists should be there. You know what I mean? So it's that's how I look at it. It's a crazy situation. You know, there is some kind of movement going on, and I don't know which one, where it's trying to go, but look, ESA might be trying to turn E3 into maybe a new Comic-Con, which I don't think that would be a bad idea at all either. You also have people that have not ever stepped their foot at an E3 trying to make assumptions by saying, well, Microsoft is not an E3. When you buy your pass, your E3 pass, you go to the Microsoft event that's like maybe 25 feet away from the from the main building. Then there's all other types of venues that's all around California and all around the LA area. Like EA does their thing in Hollywood. They moved that thing to Hollywood. Bethesda has a thing over there by the UFC Center. Square Enix, I didn't get a chance to go see the Square Enix thing. I didn't get a pass for that. But that's at a different venue. Sony's had their venue at different places and locations, even when they were there. So what I'm not understanding is why people are just trying to make this out to be like an Xbox thing. It's not, because it's not only just Xbox there. Nintendo is there. Square Enix is there. Capcom is there. Activision is there. You know, all these companies are there. And then on top of that, you have all these smaller developers that's out there trying to show off their games, trying to get people to check them out, trying to see people like small content creators like me and others to look and see their games, get a card, talk about it, show their games off, maybe see if that can take off. There's people out there that's hungry or trying to show what they can do and show their talents. And by the media not going out there and addressing that, I find that to be gross, man. I really do. And I know it's some kind of movement that where they are pissed off at the ESA for one, but it's also because they don't like the public being there. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? So but so the thing of it is to me is that no, and no, E3 is not dying. That's the thing. It's not slowly dying. It's not dying at all. I mean, I just showed this. It's not. Like, you had the biggest venue. You had the second. You had the three biggest time. You had the two biggest times ever when you had the public there. It's not dead. When people are saying that there were aisles and people not walking around and stuff like that, I don't know where the hell that was. That means that was telling me that there were locations where they could stay hid away from the public. I'm not the only one that's been saying this. This isn't me just trying to, talk up E3 because E3 is this and that. I'm just being honest. When I went in 2018, when Sony was there, when you got to like Wednesday and Thursday, it died down a little bit. Because mostly a lot of people, they leave because the biggest part of the events is Sunday. Then Monday it's a break, and then Tuesday everything kicks off, and then you got Wednesday, and then after Wednesday usually kind of slow down around, get maybe about afternoon, close to evening time, it starts slowing down on that Wednesday. But last year it was still packed, it was still jumping. I was tripping because in 2018 it wasn't that many people there in 2018 on that Thursday. And because then when I stayed there when I went this year, it was jumping. It was packed. It was still packed. Still a lot of people doing stuff. And most of the stuff that you've seen that I showed, was on that Thursday. It wasn't even on the first day. It was on like a Wednesday or Thursday when I could move around because I didn't want to have cameras and all types of stuff and walking around and everything. We did do some filming and stuff during Tuesday, but that was mostly at the Xbox at the Xbox Center or whatever. But I don't know, man. Like I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's bullshit. So it really is. Yeah, so yeah, 100 said he gonna go rated R tonight. Hey man, look, I just find it to be problematic. I really do. I think Geoff Keighley can do whatever he wants to. Of course, he's a grown man. He's got the status of what he does. But to one end, again, reading this his comments by saying, look, he was trying to find ways to help improve the event, but he also quoted as saying that the ESA needs to find a way to bring everyone back to the table, with Sony skipping the show altogether for the second year running and numerous high-profile exhibitors opting to reduce or eliminate their presence at the show, which the only really big exhibitor is Sony. You know what I'm saying? That's the one. Like, so it was Sony that decided to not show up, and so now he's like, well, they can't come to the table. You know what? I just don't feel good about this. I mean, this is plain as day. Like, he's almost contradicting himself. Like, man, I want everybody to come together, but man, I really need Sony to be there. And if Sony's not going to be there, well, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be. And if you see Geoff Keighley at a Sony event coming out here, then I think we all know what this means. I think we all know this means, and I think people should really shut the hell up about there is no media bias, because there clearly is. There's so much clickbait. Like, I show an article from Forbes talking about how the Xbox has this advantage, and they're kind of blowing away from the competition because they don't have any when it comes to Sony and Microsoft, because they're pretty much a customer, right? If you read the article makes a lot of sense, but when you look at just the headline, you look at it's clickbait, and then they have another article why Sony is dominating, will crush the Xbox. They have to have these clicks for people to pay attention to, because that's kind of like how this whole social media thing is blown up now. You also have stuff that came about last month where there was some kind of propaganda situation where Sony was paying students for to kind of start up this hate everything but love Sony. And then of course you go way back to the beginning of the generation when Xbox was trying to I don't know if they tried, I think they did, gave money to that to one of those YouTube sites, forgot the name of it, to where they were trying to promote them to talk good about their games at the time where everybody was having everybody was shitting on Xbox at the point in time. So, I mean, it goes both ways. But again, there is so much going on within social media, and the gaming journalists should be completely transparent about everything. Not to be, try to throw a little shade here, try to throw a shade. Bring it back to the Adam Sessler days. That's all I want the gaming media to do, is to bring back to that, and that's why a lot of people are sick of them. And that's why a lot of people out here is just listening to people that brings out content, because so they trust more people that are content creators than they do somebody that has that has this degree in journalism. I mean, it's crazy. But what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's really wild. And for Geoff Keighley to even go this route and to say that, well, I'm going to just I'm going to bow out because people ain't sticking together. Well, if you stayed there, showed that you support gaming as a whole, maybe that, and if all these other journalists can sit there and work together and get whatever that they need to do to get ESA to get on board with some of the things that they have to do, then I think that would prove that, hey, look, we are trying to work and try to make it about what's the most important thing is about the game, about games, and it's about the gamers out here that wants this content. So, I mean, he has a big show that he does, a big live show that he shows at the E3 floor, where he has interviews with different people. So if he's not going to be there, who's going to do that? Who's going to step in and do that? I know IGN does it a little bit, but they don't do it like Geoff Keighley does. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's kind of like And if Geoff Keighley it's at Sony's event and he's doing all these interviews with whatever the games that they're going to present, things like that, I think that's an absolute slap to the face. Not only to E3, you know what I'm saying? That's on them. They make plenty of money. They do whatever they got to do, but to the gamers themselves, because you're isolating the thing that you claim that you want to be all together and to be celebrated, and which is gaming. Not just you're making it you're bringing it by. I know he's going to go to Gamescom, which is cool. But if he does any type of Sony event, and I know you guys know that I'm right about this, if he's doing a Sony event and does the same things that he would do at E3, then he is separating and dividing and making and being just as part of the problem of this division that we have in gaming with this community, then he is helping it. And I'm not lying about that. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't do it, then maybe he's tired. Maybe he just don't want to do it. But he stated in that article that he wants to, he's going to do further things. He's going to be at other events. He's going to support in other ways. And he's going to be at Gamescom. So obviously there's some things down the line before Gamescom that he's going to be a part of. And the only thing that I could think of that could be coming out at before E3 or around E3 is Sony's event. I don't know. It's crazy to me. It's crazy because, again, you want everybody to be involved. You want to celebrate gaming. You're going to have more people at these events than in any Sony event, than anywhere else. Anywhere else. E3 is going to have everybody there. Everybody. Local media and world media is at E3. That's what I'm trying to make people understand, is that E3 is not just some kind of little small venue because it doesn't have more people there. It is huge. It is a lot of money going in and out of that place, man. There's a lot of cake going on, man. And then just the events that they have for the shows that they present, for all the things that they show. Like, I mean, this is a new console. This is a new time for consoles to come out. You know what I'm saying? And like, I already made my point about how I feel about Sony skipping out on E3, but that's on them, right? Whatever. But Xbox is doing their event, and so basically you're saying, Xbox. Nah, any new games that's coming out, no, we don't care about that. We don't care. We don't care about new reveals that's going to be coming out. More stuff that's going to be coming out about this game, streaming and just everything. We're definitely going to get new gaming titles that's going to be coming out. We're going to be seeing games look better than they ever have. We're going to see all types of new stuff at E3, but that's not important. None of that's important. We'll get to see more content on Cyberpunk, on the Marvel game, on well, no, we ain't gonna see no other stuff from anything from Sony, because Sony's gonna have their own event and they're gonna do their own thing. So scratch that. But any games that's gonna be published, probably with Sony, there'll be some that'll come over there to the Sony event. But this just makes more division to me. I don't know. I have no idea, man. I don't know. This for people that just try to hide behind it because they're a PlayStation fan or whatever and say, oh, this is all good, man. E3's dying. Who cares? Nobody cares about E3 no more. That makes no sense, because people would take their damn day off of work to sit their ass there and watch a stream of E3. So you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. So it's just caused more division to me, and I'm personally sick of it. I really am. I think it's more of the thing of where I understand there's a tug of war going on with both the media and with the ESA at E3 and stuff like that. But it's a lot. I think it's just a lot. It's more personal to me because of me watching these events and me being excited event. I'm going to watch the PlayStation event. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be excited. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole reveal thing. And then if you want to throw like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I said this on my tweet. On my tweet was that, hey, look, I mean, Geoff Keighley started acting a little different ever since Xbox moved away from the event that they were at to the Microsoft Center, and they kind of like shut down those leaks. Because I mean, again, we were getting leaks after leaks after leaks for years, and they were just killing these shows. And you might have one or two things that nobody didn't know about that made that made the Xbox show, you know what I'm saying, a lot more excitement. But then, when you did, you know what I'm saying, with the Xbox One X revealing the price beforehand, and then like PlayStation did their Pro and all like that, why you didn't reveal that? I mean, if you felt that the Xbox One X should have their price revealed, then you think that you would have still got that leak, because I'm sure that you found out and you knew that the Sony Pro, what the price was going to be for that and for VR. You would think, right? So I don't know, man. I don't. People keep talking about. Well, I mean, Sony is doing what Sony does. I don't know what's going on over there. All I know is that Microsoft just made a partnership with Samsung, while Sony is not showing any of their phones at at their at their event, at this some phone event that they were supposed to be scheduled to go. That came out this week. Um, I forgot what the name of that event was called, but Sony backed out of that event. Sony backed out of their motion pictures, showing, there was an event for showing off motion pictures, and Sony got a lot of hot movies coming out. Like, I mean, they had Bad Boys, they got the Morpheus movie coming out, they got the other movie Deadshot, I think it is, with Vin Diesel. They got a whole bunch of good movies. They didn't want to show any. They just skipped out on that event. Plus, they're skipping out on E3. They didn't show up on any show except, I think, Tokyo Game Show. I think that's the only place that they went. They haven't had a PSN event in the last 2 years. What's going on? I mean that's the question. What's going on? Like, I mean, you can't. Sony still makes phones. Why they couldn't reveal what the new phones that they had? Why they got great movies that's out right now? Why they couldn't show off their movies? And what's going on? What is going on? And of course, the whole secrecy of what's going on. I know that they showed something popping off on supposed to be some on Valentine's Day, I guess. Maybe a little teaser of the date of when they're going to finally have their event. Or the Ice, the Queen Gaming, she said, she said maybe, it could be a Last of Us event as well. I have no idea. I have no idea what they're going to do. But I know that PlayStation fans has been clamoring. You know what I'm saying? They've been wanting to hear something. But there's a lot of things that's just not looking. It's not looking too swift right now. I mean, I know all that's going to go away once they reveal what they're going to reveal, and people will be excited, and that's all well and good and all that. But man, not coming out to any of these events, and then Geoff Keighley over here backing out. You got this new movement going on where they want to try to downgrade E3. I don't know, man. It's just bringing up more division than anything. So I just wanted to touch on this. Wanted to give my opinion, my thoughts on it, and that's it, man. I mean, if you can agree or you could disagree, but I just thought that this was absolutely crazy. It's a problem, and I don't know how this is going to play out. But however it plays out is however it plays out. You know what I'm saying? I have no control over it, but I don't know. As gamers, I would be somewhat concerned, but not too concerned, because like I said, it's the the United States is the biggest market. So if, like, let's say E3 would ever close down or shut down, there would be another venue somewhere in the United States. That's no doubt. But I really do think the media is really trying to make efforts to maybe have just private individual events for each of the big companies, and then also like maybe have some kind of small expo for like the other people, and then like that way they don't have to maybe go to those events or send as many staff to certain events, and maybe just want to just stream those events from their whatever location that they're at, instead of them having to do whatever they've been doing at E3 for so many years. So I don't know, man. Like I said, there is some kind of agenda popping off, but we'll see what's going on. I don't know. Other thing, no, Sony isn't getting sold. Sony is not getting sold. There's a lot of turnover and things like that, but I don't see that at all. I think so. I mean, I don't know if Sony. Look, I don't care about their financials. We'll find out what their situation was. I remember at the beginning of the generation, they were really going through it at the beginning of this generation, but they pulled out and they did a great job for doing what they needed to do. But we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. I mean, there is something going on, but I don't know. But everybody, thank you for watching. I'm about to head out of here. I just wanted to give my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Um, and until the next video, or until when I do GRG, because we're gonna definitely talk about this as well. And check out my boy 100. He said he gonna go medieval, so he gonna go crazy on Geoff Keighley, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not mad at the man. I'm not triggered by this. I just found it to be just problematic. Like this is causing more division, especially if he goes to another spot. So, all right, everybody, have a good one. Thanks for checking out the video or the stream, and for people to check it out later, man, really appreciate it. Thank you. See you on GRG Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Central. 9 what is it? It's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific, man. We'll see you there. Everybody have a good one.